Hey guys, I hope you're well. In this video I'm going to be talking to you about the ICCE qualification, which is part of the ACE curriculum, and I'm going to be breaking down the general level, the intermediate level and the advanced level. Questions from people trying to understand the AC curriculum. I'm not sure if that's because many of these families are using the AC curriculum, or they're just thinking about whether or not to use it, or just comparing, the curriculums. In the UK, we have a qualification called the GCSEs, which stands for General Certificate of Secondary Education. It's the most popular GCSE, and even if a parent is unschooling, or even if a parent is, has a child at school or home educating their child, we're always thinking about this GCSE. We're always thinking about what will happen when the child reaches 16 years old and whether or not the child will be able to take an exam like that in the future. So in this video, I'm just going to break it all down to you to help you to understand what the curriculum is, how it works, and how a child can complete grade 8 and 9 in the UK, and that be equivalent to a child doing year 10 and 11 in the UK for their GCSEs. I think some people just don't quite understand that. So I'm going to break it down a little bit for you in terms of age range of the US system as well as the UK system. But before I do that, just to explain that the AC curriculum is an international qualification. It's not a GCSE. It's very different from a GCSE, and we don't really say it's equivalent. We say it's comparable to a GCSE. But let's break it down. So the UK education system over here and the US education system over here. So let's start from a child entering into school. So a child at the age of 4 and 5 in the UK would start reception. We call it the reception year. It's before the national curriculum, and in the reception year, the child will be learning from the early learning goals, and they're learning through play. And then you have the US system over here. A child aged between 4 and 5, they would be in pre-K. So not even started kindergarten yet at that point. Then we have the child in year 1 in the UK. That would be a child who's aged 5 and 6. Now this same age group of children in the US will be starting kindergarten at that point. A child in year 2 in the UK, that will be 6 and 7, age 6 and 7 over here. A child at 6 and 7 in the US will be starting grade 1. In the UK, a child who is 7 to 8 would be in year 3. A child who is 7 to 8 in the US would be in grade 2. And it could keep going like that. So a child at 8 and 9 in the UK, they'll be in year 4. In the US, they'll be grade 3. And it keeps going like that. Alright, so that's a very simplified version of the ages, but you have to remember that with the ACE curriculum in Europe, it's following the international method. So in the UK, our learning goes from reception all the way to year 13. In the US, the learning goes from pre-K all the way to 12. So you've probably heard them say K-12. So that's where it's different. So we end at 13, they end at 12. So for grade 8, your child will cover the paces 1085 to 1096. And then for grade 9, your child will cover paces 1097 all the way to 1108. That is classed as a general level. And then you have grade 10. Grade 10 will be equivalent to a child, it's the same age sort of thing. But then you have grade 10. Grade 10 is the intermediate level, which is a bridge level, and that covers 1109 to 1120. That's the pace number. And then you have the next level down, the last 2 years, which will be the advanced level, and that covers 1121 to 1144. And then you have the final one, which is grade 12, which covers 1133 to 1144. So I'll show you a little picture of this as well to make it a bit simple. Yeah, so unlike GCSEs, the ICCE follows a mastery system. The GCSEs follow a fixed age-based progression system. So it doesn't matter how you're getting on in terms of your learning. You will move on to the next level just because of your age. So you can have a child in year 9 who have not covered the curriculum fully from the Key Stage 2, Key Stage 1, but they're still going to go through to year 9, year 10, year 11, year 12. Whereas for the ICCE, for ACE curriculum, when you first join the curriculum, you have to do an assessment, and that will place you in the right level according to your academic ability. Even my children, when they came out of school, I put them on the test thinking that they're going to do really well, and there were so much gaps in the learning that they were unable to move on until they had covered that learning. They had to work on their gaps pace first, so they had gaps, random numbers that they had to work on before going to their level where they were working comfortably at, and then from there they keep going. And that's why, even though it's like a grade 8 or 9, and people might might think, okay, that's not right, they're literally working below other children. No, because it's all about the mastery, it's all about learning from the stepping stones going up, and that's why they did really well with this curriculum. This is why I recommend it fully. Some of the ACE schools around the country, they've changed the way they do things. A lot of the schools that I know about don't really follow the ICCEs as much, and they kind of stick with the ACE up until grade 8, and then they fall off a little bit. But there is still schools around that still do the ICCE curriculum, but they've had a bit of issues with like benchmarks and recognise qualifications with it. So now I don't know about many other qualifications that I don't know about many other curriculums that have a separate qualifications attached to them that don't follow the national curriculum. The only one that I know about is the ACE curriculum. I know there are other international qualifications out there, such as the SATs that people do. And I know there's one called the baccalaureate that I've heard about as well, which apparently the ICCE is more equivalent to that qualification. I haven't looked into it too much, but I know it's based on electives and things like that. So I think the structure is a little bit more similar to what we do with the ACE curriculum. So the ACE curriculum stands for Accelerated Christian Education, and the ICCE follows the same program, but when the child reaches grade 8, they need to move into the next level called the ICCE if they want to get a qualification. So for example, if you would like to use the ACE curriculum, just go over to the website, there's a link right here, go onto the website, you can buy the paces, you don't have to join or do any courses. It's advisable that you do, so you know how to mark your child's work and so they get the most out of the curriculum. But you can just purchase the curriculum yourself online. You can also buy a lot of the materials for the ICCE as well, online as well, without doing a qualification. But if you want your child to have an ICCE qualification at the end, you have to join. You have to pay a registration fee to join. You have to do a course for the parents to make sure that you're marking the work correctly and fully understanding what the curriculum involves. Your children will have to have an interview as well with the head of, I can't remember the name of the person, I know his name was Lionel, but your children have to have an interview with him to find out what it is that they want to do in their futures, and this happens in year 7, so it tends to be around the age of 11, 12, the end of 12, age 12, your child will have to have an interview with them to find out a bit more about what they want to do when they're older, to get them really thinking about that. Then they move into grade 8. When they move into grade 8, they will then move into the ICCE program, and there's lots of fun things that open up for the child as well, such as the student convention that they can go to as well, which you can find a link over here, a bit about what that is and what my children did when they went to the convention as well. First time last year in 2019, and we had the most amazing time, and I kind of wish we started doing it earlier. So what happens at the ESC is that children get to compete with other children that are either home educated from the same curriculum or who attend an ACE school. We have things called Teach Camp, which is for home educators, not part of the ICCE. You can be at any stage within the ACE curriculum to go to the Teach Camp, which is a conference where all other families who are thinking about using the curriculum or already using the curriculum come together. We usually meet up in Wales. I'm not sure if they've changed their destination right now, but there's so much things out there that will help people within their community. There's also home education groups for the ACE community as well. I ran an ACE group as well. You can watch the video over here to find a bit more about that group. So there's a little bit about the ICCE curriculum. Unlike GCSEs, the ICCEs allows children to progress at their own pace. Your child could even have a special educational need, and we have other options for them in terms of qualifications, which I'll talk to you about as well. But it's mastery learning. Your child can go further if they want to, or they can go slower if they want to too. They can qualify and graduate from the ICCE at a younger age, or they might take a bit longer to get through the whole program. It doesn't matter. They work at their own pace. The ICCE qualification is great for families who want a structure, flexible learning, and an academic structure, I would say. You also have to remember that with the ACE curriculum and the ICCE curriculum, I think I'm calling, maybe saying the words interchangeably, but you have to remember that the reason why many families opt in for this curriculum is not just about the academic rigour that's involved in it, it's more about the fact that it has a Christian worldview. So the national curriculum follows a secular worldview. Many people might say, oh, it's more impartial and it's a bit more flexible to everybody, but it's not. It's a secular qualification. It teaches man-made evolution. It doesn't teach God within the curriculum, it teaches several different religions, whereas with the ACE curriculum, we are learning about creation, we're learning about God first in all of our subjects, and children are learning that they are unique, they had a great design, we're learning from the Bible in every single aspect of it. So people would choose that curriculum if they want a Christian-heavy curriculum, then the ACE curriculum is perfect for that. The pass mark for ICCE at the general level is 80%. A child has to get 80% or above in order to pass the curriculum, whereas for the national curriculum, a child can pass at about 40 to 50%. That's a key difference between the two, and I will be talking to you a little bit more about that as we progress through the video. Another key difference as well with the GCSEs is that the GCSEs have a foundation tier and they also have a higher tier. So depending on how a child gets in their mocks, they will be entered into either the higher tier or the foundation tier. With the foundation tier, a child can only achieve C a C as a highest level or below a C. And with the higher tier, a child can achieve less than a C, but the highest they can get is an A star as well. Whereas the ICCE allows children to attain top grades based on their performance. One of the questions that I got asked by Whitney Gallark, 9837, was, did your daughter complete all grades up to grade 12? And she didn't achieve that.
So I finished the general level of the ICCE curriculum at the end of year 10.
I know that in the US you have a grading system called K-12, where it starts from kindergarten all the way to grade 12. My daughter didn't do that. General level was enough for her. She did the general level, grade 8 and 9 of the general level, and she achieved quite good grades. I'm going to get her record of achievement in a minute and get her to have a little look through the record of achievement so I can show you what her grades were. But she scored really highly on the grades that were awarded to her. And so my daughter finished grade 8 and 9 in America, but equivalent to year 10 in the UK. So she had one more year at home, which was when she was in year 11, and the choice was that she could go on to the gap level of the intermediate level, covering everything in there. So she had her interview, we had bought some of the papers for her, but she decided she wanted to try something different. She's known from the age of 10 years old that she wants to be a lawyer. Right, so Mele, what do you want to be when you're older?
Law. I just said that really.
Do you know what type of law you want to go into?
I quite like criminal law, just because it's interesting.
Okay.
But family law would also be cool.
So she just said, okay, I want to do law instead. So I said, okay, fair enough. So we left the intermediate level, and I just enrolled her on an online program where she did self-study, and she did A level in law, and she got a grade C at the end of that, and I'm really proud of her for that. And then after that, we applied for her to go to some schools when she was in year 10, I believe it was. Yeah, we applied early because for the independent schools, you got to apply in year 10. So we applied for her to go to some schools in year 10, a lot of independent schools. One of the schools we wanted her to go to was North London Collegiate Girls' School. That school, she got an interview for, but she didn't get in. It's one of the top girls' schools in the country. But now she attends another girls' school called St Helens in Northwoods. And I'm only telling you that now because she's nearly finished. So it's fine. I've been holding off of that for a little while. And then for her to go to that school, they looked at her, her qualifications, but the main thing that they did was that she needed to have an in-house assessment because she was an external student. So they gave her an assessment based on the A-levels that she wanted to do, and she scored highly on there. They were so impressed with her that they gave her a place at the school. After grade 11, the next grade would be after intermediate, the next grade is advanced, and advanced runs from grade 11 and 12. So intermediate is grade 10, and then you've got the advanced, which is grade 11 and grade 12. The 11 and grade 12 is equivalent to A-level. It's so dark in the house, but my son keeps he uses the computer during the day, so I only can really record at night time. But yeah, hopefully you can see me and it's fine. Yeah, so back to that. I mean, you don't have to do all of the levels unless you want to go to university. I've been on this ICCE website, and they've got loads of qualifications that some of the children have done to show the different destinations that they've been to from their grading. Let's have a look at that again, so you can see where some of them went. So let's look at the more recent ones. So there's this person over here. So this is the ICCE website, which tells you all about the different qualifications and destinations people went to. And my daughter's going to enroll on this as well, so she should be the face that's on there next. They haven't updated it in quite a while. I'm not sure why. This was last updated in May 20th, 2021. I did give them a call about this to find out why. I feel like I'm talking to you. It feels like I'm talking to you a lot more than they are doing. And like my son says, I should get shares from this. But anyway, so this is Samuel. Samuel graduated with the ICCE general level, like my daughter, and went on to complete A-levels in philosophy and ethics, English language and music, before going on to study law at Nottingham Trent University. So he's taken a similar path to my daughter. She did the general level, and then she also did 4 A-levels, but she dropped one in the end, and she did the EPQ as well. And yeah, she's going to university. She applied for 5 universities. She applied for Oxford, because you can only choose one of them, Oxford or Cambridge. She applied for Oxford, she applied for UCL, she applied for Birmingham, Nottingham and Reading. These 4 are Russell Group universities that she really wanted to go to, and then Reading she just put in there just in case. She had an interview for Oxford, 2 in fact. I'm so proud of her. We were literally dancing like, wow, I got an interview. So she had an interview at Oxford, she had 2 interviews, but unfortunately she didn't get into Oxford. She's applied for UCL, but they're the only ones that she hasn't heard back from yet, which is our closest university in London. So we don't know about this one yet. She applied for Birmingham. She got into Birmingham. I was like, wow, she just kept getting offers after offers after offers. She applied for Birmingham, got into Birmingham, applied for Nottingham, got into Nottingham, and applied for Reading, got into Reading as well. So she's really happy. We're thinking out of the 3 here, it's probably going to be Nottingham that she goes to. She might get into UCL, but I'm not really sure about the London universities, whether I like them or not. They just seem a bit leftist, a bit like, I don't know. I just don't know how it'll be at UCL. But obviously, it's a really good university. It's like quite top in terms of numbers. But I want to research it a bit more to see. But I think Birmingham and Nottingham were the first type of choice. Oxford was the first choice, but these two would be the second choice that she had. We thought about maybe taking a gap year and then maybe trying to apply for Oxford again. But I think we're just going to leave it. Just let her go to Nottingham or Birmingham, whichever one she wants to choose. But it's a very similar route to this person over here, Samuel. Let's try some more. Let's see. We've got this girl. This is Victoria. She graduated with the ICCE Advanced Certificate and went on to achieve a BSc Honours in Biomedical Science at Glasgow, Caledonia University. She's going on to do an MSc in Global Health at, at Maastricht. Is that German? At Maastricht University in the Netherlands. Please forgive me. Okay, good. And then let's just look at a couple more. Let's get him as well. So we've got Andrew, graduated with the ICCE Advanced Level Certificate and went on to study Chemical Engineering at the University of Sheffield. So there's loads of universities that accept students. I'll give you a list of the ones that I know about that have accepted them. Let's try a few more. We've got Blessed, graduated with the ICCE Advanced Level and went on to study Engineering at Trinity College in Dublin. Lots of Irish universities take the ICCE qualification. I'll try one more. Let's try this one. So this is Nathan. I think I remember Nathan. Nathan graduated with from the ICCE Advanced Level Certificate and went on to study Computer Science Software Engineering at the University of Hertfordshire. So you can clearly see that universities do accept students, but I'm not too sure why they haven't updated it since 2021. There is a 4-year gap, and I'm just a bit like, oh, why? What is the reason why? But I don't think there's really going to be a problem with children going on to university, especially if they have an A-level. The A-level path is a bit more safe, I'd say, with the ICC and the A-level. I think there's a lot more options that will be available to you based on the fact that you did the A-level. But as these people are showing us, the other routes were still okay as well. And I actually know someone who went to Glasgow University as well. She finished at 17 and went to university a year early, and they took her based on her grades on the ICCE. I'm not sure how life was for her over there, but I know that she went. So check out this website. It's instagram.com icce.education. And you can find out some more of your own success stories over there about how people went on to university. And then I had a question from VW777 who asked me, do I still recommend the ICCE curriculum? And as it stands, I do still recommend the ICCE curriculum, but I feel like there's been some changes since we were going through it. And I want to really find out what those changes are before I recommend it to other people. I want to know why the website has not been updated since 2021. So as a parent, if I was homeschooling my kids now, these are the sort of questions that I'll be asking. I want to know how children are getting on with the ICCE qualifications now that they're doing it. But in terms of what I did and the methods that I went through, I would still definitely recommend the ICCE qualification for families. I think it's a wonderful curriculum. I think the mastery learning is fantastic. It really does build your child's learning from the place that they're at and to the place that they want to get to. Yeah, the only thing I would say is that you need to check with the UK, check with the child's university that your child wants to go to, make sure that they accept the qualification. Also, if you have a school involved, like maybe check with the school if they accept your child's A-levels. Because we had a bit of experiences with our applications where some of the schools like, nope, we're not going to accept it.
There has been a few schools that have been like, okay, we've never heard of this before. There's been one school that was like, nope, we're not going to take it at all. Which was fun.
I hope that video helped you to understand the differences between the ICCE qualifications of the general, the intermediate and the advanced. If you have any further questions, leave them down below and I will try my best to answer them. As always, my next video will be about going to university with the ICCE qualification, and I'll be diving a little bit more further into this same topic, okay? So maybe click on the bell down below for the notification bar and come and talk to me on Wednesday, all right?